We are joined right now, I am very happy and proud to say, by Congressman Marsha Blackburn from the 7th CD of the great state of Tennessee, Vice Chair of the Energy and Commerce Committee. Hello, Congressman. How are you?
I am doing great, and I hope you are also.
I am. It's insane. It's crazy. My head's spinning with everything going on, but I'm doing okay. I hope you had a safe plane ride and a pleasant trip.
I did. Flight was a little bit late, but we're in D.C. and ready for another busy week.
Oh, my goodness.
You can tell, we have a lot on our plate.
All right, well, let me give you some breaking news regarding Kermit Gosnell. And we spoke, just so you know, we had Alveda King on in the previous hour, and she's in Washington, too. And you're in line with what she's looking for in the way of hearings and congressional action. But let me just tell you, the CNN is reporting right before I sat down for this hour that an apparent deal has been cut, according to the district attorney in Philadelphia. He will not face the death penalty, and he agrees in return not to appeal the case. That's
correct. That is what we are hearing, and that he is trying to cut, or is cutting the deal for life in prison, so that he does not have to face the death penalty, and also that he's convicted on hundreds of lesser charges, and running a corrupt organization among them, and of course the travesty of infanticide.
Are you okay with that deal if it does in fact prove to be the case?
You know, I just when I heard this, I thought, my goodness, he doesn't want to face the death penalty, and here he sentenced these babies that had survived this abortion to death and committed that. I had thought that he would receive the death penalty, and obviously he thought that he would receive the death penalty also. So we'll see what happens as they continue to work this forward, and what the final verdict is going to be, and what the final sentencing.
You called yesterday a sad day, Congressman, and absolutely. I mean, those little babies to have their spines cut with a scissor, and the death of that woman who is also held culpable for, and of course it goes beyond that. I mean, the gruesomeness, the body parts in the freezer. I mean, it's just unspeakable and unthinkable. And you are calling for congressional action. Tell us what you are hoping to accomplish.
Well, what I am hopeful we're going to do, and I anticipate we're going to do, is have some additional oversight. Number one, looking at the states and how they are overseeing and regulating these clinics, how they are going in and reviewing them, overseeing them over, each year. And as we're finding out, that's not what has been happening. They have gone sometimes 10 and 15 years without going in to monitor and check these clinics. The second thing is Planned Parenthood's role in this. In Pennsylvania, we know from some of the prosecution witnesses that they reported to Planned Parenthood what was transpiring in that clinic in Pennsylvania, the Gosnell Clinic, and they were instructed to go to the Department of Health. And Planned Parenthood should have stepped up and had a role in this, and it is unfortunate for them that they did not. But Planned Parenthood gets over $500 million a year. And
the president became the first sitting president, if I may interrupt, to speak to Planned Parenthood of just a couple of weeks ago.
Indeed, indeed. And we know, as we have at Energy and Commerce, we have conducted some investigation into Planned Parenthood over the past couple of years, and we're continuing with that. And it is why I brought forward my legislation, H.R. 61, which would end federal funding of abortion. Yeah. And we are going to continue to work and push that legislation. When you see how these clinics are conducting themselves, when you see that Planned Parenthood has a mandate to their affiliates to conduct abortion, then you know that it's time for the federal government to get out of funding this. And so we will continue in that vein, and I hope that your listeners will stay in touch with us at blackburn.house.gov, or follow me on Twitter at Marsha Blackburn, or Facebook is Marsha Blackburn. So my hope is that they will stay with us on that and help us fight this, and work to end the federal funding and to increase the state oversight of these clinics.
You know, here's the thing, Congressman, and tell me if you agree with me or not. I think that both John McCain and especially Mitt Romney missed the boat. The Democratic Party's platform on this is so far to the left, and Barack Obama's personal story on this with his history in the Chicago State Legislature and the comments he's made as president is so far to the left that it's out of sync and out of touch with the American people. If they knew his position on the Born Alive Act, if they knew the Democrat platform, but instead of presenting this and taking on the challenge and the so-called war on women charges, Romney and the Republicans, you know, ran away from it and just shut up and let it be said and said nothing back.
Well, and, you know, we're at a time when a majority of Americans identify themselves as pro-life.
Right.
And the Democrats made this an argument about contraception. And
right.
What we are finding out is that these late-term abortions, the unwillingness of some of these clinics to provide care to babies, and I've seen some of the videos that Lila Rose or Live Action.
Yeah, we had Lila on, yeah.
Yeah, has had up, and it is just amazing. If the baby survives, and, you know, if a baby survives a botched abortion, then look,
it's a baby. It's a person.
Fighter. They're
yeah.
a fighter.
Jeez.
And this is a child that is like our little babies that are in the NICUs. These are fighters. They are in there fighting every step of the way. And so many people, this is an area, I've got to tell you, where I think science has really helped us. So many women and so many of my friends who are having their first
sonogram. Yeah.
You know, they're seeing their grandchild, and by the time they're 4 or 5 months old, they're seeing the features. You know, they're doing the 3D sonograms, and they can tell what that child's going to look like. And they don't refer to this as a fetus. They refer to it as my granddaughter or my grandson.
Absolutely. And Congressman, you know, the New York Times, as recently as yesterday, basically their first coverage of the Gosnell trial, said that he was guilty of killing 3 fetuses. I mean, that's how crazy it is.
Yes, and it is, and it is inappropriate. I think that if the major news media outlets had been reporting this trial, it would just be, people would be enraged.
Absolutely.
And so many times, I've been in my district for the weekend, and I will be talking to people, and they will say, you know, tell me where I can find out some more information, or I read something you sent out about the Gosnell trial, you know, but I can't find anything. They go to the website for some of the major media outlets, and they can't find anything on it, and it's just really been interesting, the lack of coverage. So you are left in the position of asking, why are they choosing to not cover it? Is it because it is poor and minority women in underserved neighborhoods, or is it because they are trying to protect Planned Parenthood and abortion and that process?
And you think it's both or the latter?
You know, we need them to answer that question, don't we?
Yeah. All right, one more for you, Congressman. In your capacity on the committee as co-chair, the committee, Justice, Commerce and Energy and Commerce, came up with a report that was based on information gained from the largest insurance companies in the nation. And according to this report, we could see health premiums spike as much as 400% under Obamacare. Now, I got to tell you, I don't know anybody who has health insurance that is a single person or has a family and could afford to have any kind of increase in their health insurance, let alone what this report is talking about.
Well, and, you know, this is what we're seeing. You look at young, easy to insure, inexpensive to insure individuals, and you're talking about their health insurance going up 400%, so you're going to penalize them to that tune. The president had promised that the law was going to save families $2,500 per year in coming years on their health insurance. Instead, since the law was passed in 2009, insurance has gone up $3,000 per family. And then you look at what the expectation is. And most of the insurance companies that we have had in our survey show that their increase on premiums is going to average about 96%.
That is just frightening. That is just frightening. Congresswoman, a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much. I hope you'll come back.
Anytime.
All right, thank you. That's
Bye-bye.
Congressman Marsha Blackburn.